Vital, now in a brand new pack.
Now, when I usually go around to buy my Vital supplements, I make a very big point of it to read around the box and to know exactly what's in what I'm buying, you know. But so the other day I realized that what usually used to say RDA, the recommended dietary allowance, has changed to an NRV, which is something very different. I didn't understand it. That's why I thought to ask Andrea exactly what that's all about. What is the NRV? How does it differ from the RDA? Did I even say it correctly? Is it recommended dietary allowance?
That's correct.
Okay,
yes.
Cool.
So we've known RDAs for many years on our cereal boxes and supplements and various foodstuffs, where it says each portion contains so many milligrams of vitamin A, and that equals so many percent, or the percentage of RDA, the recommended dietary allowance.
Yes.
And new legislation has come in now. It's an international trend where the nutrient reference values, or NRVs, are now replacing RDAs.
Does it mean the same thing, though?
Almost, but not really. So what we're looking at, the difference between RDA and NRV, is RDAs represent the minimum quantity of a nutrient we need before we start developing deficiency symptoms.
Okay.
So that's the absolute minimum we can get away with. So NRVs was introduced to represent values that strive more towards optimizing nutritional intake. So in some cases, the NRV values are slightly higher than the RDAs.
Okay.
But effectively, in time, you'll see in South Africa, it's new legislation, the RDAs will eventually be replaced with NRVs.
Yes.
And it's an international standardized value where the RDAs differ from one country to another. And RDAs often confuse people because they'll ask why is it different on one pack compared to another.
Yes.
And that's because maybe it was produced in a different country.
Yeah, different climates.
Yes, so NRVs are standardized values.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So now, just using that, then, how does one then know, or make that calculation in your mind to know if you're getting enough of a nutrient or too little of it?
Well, that's such a broad question, and it's difficult to answer, and it all boils down to your dietary intake first. And I think one thing that happens as soon as we're equipped with information, like here we've got a nutritional panel, and it tells you which nutrient components are in there, and it gives you the percentage of NRV, or on the previous packaging it gives you the percentage RDA.
Yes.
That we often then think we need to rely on these supplements to give us our optimal nutrition, and optimal nutrition starts with food. So the basis of the adequate nutrition and the basis of our dietary intake comes from our foods. And what supplements do is they optimize or supplement and add on to our dietary intake.
Yeah.
So you'll never know just by looking at a pack if this is going to give you enough, because you have to consider your dietary intake as well. But supplements are designed with a knowledge of how much do we typically get through our diets, and if we had to supplement, how much do we need to top up with?
Yes.
So that's all in the hands of the biochemists and the chemists and the pharmacists and the dietitians at Vital that work out all these ratios and dosages. Yes.
But it's not like now that there's NRVs and no longer RDAs, I need to start worrying about, you know, I'm taking something else in.
Definitely not. It's not going to result in overdosing your system or taking different dosages. It's a mild sort of change or a adjustment. And basically if you look at legislation, the NRVs are replacing the RDAs. And the values are very similar. Like I said, in some cases it's slightly higher. In some cases it's even slightly lower.
Yes.
So it's just the new legislation, basically.
Okay. Well, understanding that, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I'm sure that if anybody else has any questions on what they see on the packaging, you know, what does that little quality stamp mean, they're welcome to ask you that.
Definitely. They can ask questions on my Facebook page. So it's Andrea du Plessis, Vital Expert.
Yeah. And you can tweet her too, if you like. Do you tweet? Do you still tweet?
I tweet a bit, yes.
Just from time to time.
But I'm more active on Facebook.
All right.
Vital, now in a brand new pack.
Stay with Expresso and SABC3.